Welcome to the Self-Growth Nerds podcast. I'm your host, Marie, a courage coach, creative soul, and adventure seeker. Since through hiking the Pacific Crest Trail in 2019, I'm on a mission to help you embrace your most confident self so you can achieve your dreams too. If you're eager for deep conversations, big questions, and meaningful connections, join me on the quest to discovering how we can create a more magical and memorable life. Hello nerds, how are you? I'm good. Today, my brain didn't want to be good, but I decided to choose to look for the joy, to look for everything that I have to be happy about, all the small things that make me smile, and it worked. I'm in a great mood now, even though my brain woke up with the intention to be grumpy. I was like, nope, that's not the decision we are making. We are choosing to be in a good mood today, no matter what you think, brain. That goes really well with what I want to talk about today, which is overcoming resistance. So first, I want to give you examples of what I mean by resistance. Resistance is when you wake up in the morning feeling heavy, like you kind of have to carry yourself through the day and only wish that you could go back to bed. Don't know how it shows up for you. For me, that's what it feels like. Like I'm living my life, but also carrying myself in a bag behind me. And sometimes it's when I need to take a shower, for example. I know that I need to go in the shower, but there is like a strong force inside of me that doesn't want to go, that wants to keep watching Netflix. We're not going in the shower. Ugh! That's what it feels like a toddler with crossed arms. Resistance is also when you are, for example, sitting in front of the computer and you have to do something for work, for example, and your brain just says, nope, I don't want to do this task. Nope. I don't know how to do that. I'm not inspired. I don't want to do this right now. And so you go scroll on your phone. Resistance is also when you said you were going to go out with a friend, and then when the moment comes, every cell in your being wants to stay home, in bed, and read a book. But you said you were going to go out, and there's an inner rebellion that's pulling you inside, and you wish they would cancel. You wish so hard they would cancel. So you get the feeling of what resistance is, right? Now, where does it come from? Well, your brain wants comfort above all else, right? That's the way it's wired, for safety and comfort, to save you from the predators. So it's going to offer you thoughts to convince you to choose comfort over novelty every time, in every aspect of your life. It's going to offer you thoughts like, you won't be good enough anyway. Let's say that you're in front of the computer, in front of a white page, because you want to write a book. You're going to feel resistance because your brain's going to offer you thoughts like, everyone's written books like this before. You're not a good enough writer. You're never going to earn a living with this. A bunch of different thoughts. Your brain's going to get really creative. Those thoughts are not what's going to create the resistance. The resistance is created when you waste energy trying to fight those thoughts as if they shouldn't be there, as if something's gone wrong. But what if they are meant to be there because you have a human brain that's doing its job? Nothing's gone wrong. Everything's working perfectly, and it's always normal that your brain freaks out when you want to do something new. But what we tend to do is judge ourselves for having the thoughts and try to, quote unquote, suppress them gently. As one of my clients said once, I'm just trying to suppress the thoughts gently. But the more you try to suppress them, the less it works and the more resistance you feel. And you also create resistance by asking questions like, is this true? Is my brain right? Are those thoughts true? And you entertain the possibility that perhaps they are. Perhaps you are not good enough. Perhaps your book is not original. Perhaps your decision is going to be the wrong one. Perhaps you're going to regret it. And that not only creates resistance, but also a lot of anxiety. The shame that this creates just adds fuels the resistance, and make you stay longer and longer in that cycle. And you are under the impression that there's something there to fix. And then your brain has won. Because while you're trying to fix the fake problem that your brain has given you, you're not working on this dream of yours. That's what your brain was trying to do the whole time. We're going to give her a thought that's going to make her freak out. Like, you won't be a good enough coach anyway. And then she's going to work on that thought. But yes, I want to be a good enough coach. How can I be a good enough coach? She's going to work on that instead of actually just going out and being a coach. See, I'm giving an example from my own life, but the same thing happens in your own brain. The problems that your brain offers are illusions that you get to choose to tap into or not. Another reason why you're feeling resistance is that you're not listening to your inner being. Your inner being is just a synonym for your heart, for your intuition, for that whispers, for that inner knowing, that little person, this glowing, shining part of you underneath all the conditioning. Your inner being knows what you're destined for. Your inner being believes in your greatness more than you do. And when you try to contradict its belief, it gets sad. It's like, don't you see your magnificence? Don't you see that your purpose is calling and that there is more for you to do on this earth than worry about this shit? Just follow its whispers, for Christ's sake. But we have been told to be responsible, to get a job, to pay the bills, to do like everyone else is doing, to listen to what your mom, your teacher, the government is telling you. Your purpose, like I was explaining in last week's episode, is a natural pull that you will go towards once you stop resisting. It's a river to flow down on, but right now it's kind of like you try to keep grabbing branches on the shore to stop the flow because you're afraid of the amazingness that's ahead of you if you let it be, and you're afraid of what comes with the amazingness. Because if you tap into that big dream of yours, you might lose people, you might have bigger responsibilities. Like, if I take myself as an example, if I create the amazing self-growth business that I want to create, I might have employees that I'm responsible for. That's scary. I also might lose friends along the way, maybe because they stop relating with me, or I don't know, for whatever reason. There are consequences to dreaming big. There are consequences to stepping to the next level of your life. It's just shouted in a microphone and in your ears. I apologize. It's like the crab theory, the bucket of crabs. When a crab reaches for the edge of the bucket, the other crabs pull him down and say, "We are all in this mediocre reality together. You shall stay with us. And if you leave," it's like with religious communities, people who decide they don't believe the same things that their community members believe, then they are pushed out of the community and they lose a lot. Do you know Ben and Cammie Crawford from Fight for Together? They're the family that have 6 children. They hiked the Appalachian Trail together. Telling the story the other day about how they used to be in this amazing close-knit religious community, and when they decided that they no longer thought that was bad, the community rejected them. They lost their sense of community, their family, just because they decided to own their true selves. So yes, it is normal to be scared of success, of amazingness, of being your full true self, because you might shine so bright that those who are insecure don't feel so comfortable being in your light, because your happiness reminds them of their lack of happiness, perhaps, or your courage reminds them of their own lack of courage. So yes, there are consequences to stepping into the bravest version of yourself. There are things to lose, but there is so much more to gain, in my opinion. To me, and this is gonna be perhaps a little too much information. If you are listening with kids, I'm about to talk about sex. So you might want to turn it off if they're not there yet, if you don't want them to hear about that. To me, it's a bit like trying to stop yourself before you orgasm. Your body wants to, all the fibers in your being want to orgasm, but you are afraid of letting go because of what might happen if you lose control. See, I've been there. I don't know if you've been there, but it takes courage to let go and to lose control, because you might feel embarrassed, you might make a funny face, the other person might look at you weird, you might feel rejected, all those fears. It's the same. My sister recently was chosen for a scholarship to study a master's in Copenhagen. Okay, she was given a scholarship that would pay for tuition for this amazing experience for 2 years, plus all of her living expenses were gonna be paid. And she called me. She was super excited to share the news. She felt really lucky and grateful, and then went, oh, but perhaps I should stay here and be responsible and make money instead of going there. And I was like, what? What are you saying? But that's what we've been taught. Many of us, we've been taught, be responsible, make money, then go get a husband or a wife, and then a house, and then kids, and pay your dues to society. And we've forgot to have fun in the process. And we feel somewhat guilty when it's easy for us. And a client of mine, that reminds me of a client of mine the other day who said, like, she was feeling so good recently and was like, is this normal? I'm afraid that the darkness is just around the corner and the depression is going to come back running. And she didn't let herself feel the joy 100% because she was afraid that it was too good to be true. And that is completely normal. Brené Brown calls it foreboding joy. Another client was saying that her only problem was that she was so joyful these days that she didn't want to connect with others because she felt guilty about having such a good time. Okay, but we have to normalize, as much as I hate this word, we have to normalize that it's okay to be happy, because if we live in a world where more people are happy, it means that there's less judgment, more inclusion, more kindness, and is that not the world that we want to live in? That's the world I want to live in. And everything that I just told you about what my sister thought, what my clients thought, what I used to think, what I used to be afraid of about orgasm, these are all just stories you tell yourself, or that your brain makes up to keep you small, because smallness is safe, whereas bigness is bold and exciting and risky and exposing, and it's like what Seth Godin calls you're naked on a hook. That's scary. But the resistance, if we go back to resistance, comes in because you are destined for greatness. And like a bird in a cage, your wings just don't feel comfortable when they're folded up like this. That's where the resistance comes in. When you're a big, beautiful bird stuck in a cage of your own making. The solution now. We're getting to the solution. 4 things. Number 1, let the thoughts be there. life is 50-50. Like Brooke Castillo, one of my mentors, says, life is 50-50. Just don't give so much attention to the other 50. Let the thoughts be background noise. They're just a radio in the background that you can never turn off. You don't have to listen to the content of every radio shows that's playing. Some radio shows you can decide are not pertinent. Is that a word in English? Some radio shows are not relevant to your life, to what you want to accomplish. So you're just not going to give them your full attention. You might hear them in the background, but you're not going to give them your full attention. And what I mean by that, if you don't follow my metaphor, is when your brain goes, you're not good enough, it's been done before, it's not original, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to take that as the truth. Let it be there. Number 2, have compassion for yourself. Life is already hard enough. There's obstacles on the way. Your brain offers you shitty thoughts. Let that be, and don't add suffering on top of that with judging yourself. So what we do is our brain freaks out and then we go, stop freaking out. You're so stupid for thinking like that. You should be more positive. You should have understood that by now. There's no shoulds. Don't add icing on the cake of suffering. Don't add an extra layer. The thoughts are painful enough already. Don't judge yourself for having them. Be compassionate. Bring some humor into it. Oh, that's that story again. Oh, that's that negative voice again. Oh, look at me being afraid to move forward into my true self. Compassion and humor. If you need to practice compassion, listen to the almighty Tara Brach. Number 3, ask better questions, please. If you're going to interact with the thoughts, instead of asking, is this true? Ask questions like, what is the positive intention behind those thoughts? Oh, perhaps their existence is the sign that I'm on the right path, that I'm outside my comfort zone and I'm doing something new and brave and I'm amazing and I'm a trailblazer. You're a trailblazer. You can also ask questions like, what do I need right now? When you feel the attack, the army of anxious thoughts coming in, you can ask yourself, tune in and ask yourself, what do I need right now? And give that to yourself. Fulfill your own needs. You deserve it. Stop withholding love for yourself. And number 4, allow the day to unfold. Stay open, be curious, follow the joy, listen to the whispers, get in touch with your inner being. And like one of my old roommates used to tell me at the beginning of the day, he would say, a shout out to him, his name was Oliver. Well, I say was, he's still alive. He used to say, you don't know how the day might surprise you. And I was telling my brave and bold clients the other day, I met Ollie, I would show up in places like on the plane, in restaurants, at the climbing gym. I would show up and think, I wonder if my soulmate is here. Or not soulmate, because I don't believe in like one ultimate soulmate, but I believe if my person is here. And I remember sitting on the plane and sitting down to this guy, this cute guy who was reading Jules Verne. And I thought, I wonder if he's my person. And I think that's the best attitude to have towards life. Move through your day thinking like, even if your day sucks, move through your day thinking, I wonder how today is going to surprise me. And be open. So that's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed. I enjoyed very much. Those podcasts are a good reminder even to me, because sometimes I forget what I teach. Like doctors who smoke, they forget what they teach. So those podcasts are a good reminder for me as much as I hope they are for you. Please come see me in the DMs. Tell me what those podcasts do for you, the insights that you get from them. And you can download my reading list if you want more of that, more of where it came from. Download my reading list on my website, selfgrowthnerds.com/reading list, and get in touch if you want coaching. I would love to help you one-on-one, and eventually I'm going to open Brave and Bold, my group coaching option again, if that's something you are interested in. But for now, you can go to my website, selfgrowthnerds.com, for more information. All right, I love you all, and I hope you have a beautiful week. Have a great day. You just listened to the Self-Growth Nerds podcast. Make sure to subscribe and to find me on Instagram at Self-Growth Nerds. If you want individual help developing the confidence to create a more meaningful and exciting life, visit selfgrowthnerds.com today to learn how. Finally, I want to thank my friend Etienne Galano for editing this, and I want to thank you, kind-hearted souls, for growing into your truest, most courageous selves every day and making this world a better, more beautiful place. My name is Marie, and I will talk to you next week.